Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today. It's Alyssa Corum here, and I'm joined by Justin Nielsen. And Justin, go ahead and give us a quick rundown of the three stocks that we're going to be analyzing.
Okay, well, we'll talk about another quiet day in the market, and we'll talk about Lululemon, Abbott Labs, and Amazon.com.
Perfect. But first, we need to check in on those major indexes. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for that. And today we're taking a look at the S&P 500. We usually focus on the NASDAQ, but the S&P up 0.6% for the day. The NASDAQ up 0.5%. The Dow leading up 1.4% for the day. But what stands out to you, Justin, with what we're seeing right now in the S&P 500 this week?
Well, really what we had this week, and exactly as you said, Monday started with a gap up, and that kind of put it out of this area of consolidation that you're marking there. And, whereas the NASDAQ composite hit a high a while ago, the S&P 500 hasn't yet. And that kind of makes sense because a lot of the stocks that are in the S&P 500 were harder hit with the coronavirus and the shutdown in the economy. But now with those kind of coming back, we talked about this on IBD Live today, that it's kind of a magnet for that old high that we had back at 33.93.52. So expect that 3,400 to be reached, fairly shortly. That's what looks like the expectation is. And of course, the closer it gets, the more you're going to hear about that, and the more it almost becomes a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy as people start, feeling a little bit better. Oh, okay, I'm back at new highs, and that makes everyone feel better, right? When you're not down on your positions.
Yeah. Exactly. And we are less than 2% away from those old highs. So that is definitely,
Spitting
shouting
distance.
Yeah, spitting
Okay.
distance.
Shouting
Stone's
distance is
throw away.
fine
Whatever.
too.
Yeah, whatever metaphor you want to use. But let's take a look at some individual stocks. Lululemon was a standout today, Justin, up about 3.7%, hitting new highs after it was, just flirting with staying above this prior buy point here, but now powerfully above that level. How did you guys handle this one today?
Well, so leaderboard, we put this on leaderboard a while ago, and what we did was we added to the position today. We also put this on Swing Trader today. So this is one that can kind of fit two bills. If you're more into the shorter term, this was set up in such a way that it looked like it, could do a short-term move higher. But this is also one that we've been talking about for a while. It had this phenomenal move after the bottom in March. And, it was one of those things where some of the luxury brands just, didn't get hit as hard. People that were not necessarily hit as hard with the economic shutdown, the people that were working from home and still had those abilities to do, to bring in income. So, this is one that has really weathered this whole thing very well, and it's just at the edge of that buy zone now. So, it was kind of as I chose this, it was still in there, and it was kind of rising at the end of the day. I'm like, come on, stay in there, But it looks like a good setup, and again, one of the things that could be a game changer for them is that acquisition of Mirror that they had recently. So, for those people that have seen those commercials, it just kind of shows that they're kind of branching out into being more of not just the fitness apparel, but kind of that lifestyle.
Exactly. Yeah. Lululemon definitely squarely at the cross section of comfort, people trading in their suits for yoga pants and sweatpants, as well as the at-home fitness trend. So we're definitely keeping an eye on this one and the strong story that this has along with the strong chart action. But elsewhere,
the sweatpants, there's a reason why I don't stand up during these videos. So
exactly. Good point, Justin. All right. Well, Abbott Laboratories, ABT, also on our radar today, up over 2%. So what do you make of this one here?
Yeah, now this one, again, keep in mind, this did have kind of an earnings slowdown this last quarter. That's something that we're probably going to be expecting to see a lot more of. But the biotech space still does have a lot of excitement in there, especially those that are involved with coronavirus vaccines and treatments. So, this has a very similar look to Lululemon. And, again, this kind of comes back to what the market was doing. The market really did kind of take a pause in July, and you saw a lot of stocks do the same. And now they're kind of regaining their footing as the markets are kind of getting to, cross the prior areas of resistance. And so you're seeing a lot of the stocks do the same thing. So this is still in that buy range. It didn't come down quite as much as Lululemon did. It kind of really hung in there very well from that 100.10 buy point from the old high.
That's right. Okay. And
And
last
those
but
century
not
marks, of course, we should just say,
Yes, of
those are always
course.
important. Hmm.
Yeah, those round numbers. We
Hmm.
definitely pay close attention to those. And last but not least, we're checking in on Amazon today. So, how is this setting up for a buy here? This was looking like a good swing trade today.
Yeah, so we put this on Swing Trader, and again, this is one that we do have on Leaderboard. We've had it on Leaderboard since April,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Yeah,
the thing when you have kind of early entries in some of these things close to the follow-through day, it allows you to kind of hold on to them for longer. We put it on Swing Trader as kind of a shorter-term move. If you go to the weekly, it might look a little bit cleaner here, but yeah, on the daily, we did use that as our kind of
perfect.
entry.
Yeah.
But you can kind of see on the weekly how this really kind of flattened out, and so
Mm-hmm.
you take that red outlier out where it just kind of popped up into new high ground for a little bit. You take that out, that kind of move up there, and you can really see a lot of flat action. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're looking at. And so it looks set up to move higher. So that's one of the reasons why we put it on at the end of the day today.
Yeah, that was a bit of a volatile week, but I like how you are putting that into perspective. It's always a good reminder to look at those weekly charts.
Yes.
Look at it over different time frames. We like stepping back and looking at the weekly, the monthly,
Yeah.
really getting into the nitty-gritty with the intraday charts. And I know you guys are doing that a lot over on Swing Trader. We talked about a couple of the swing trade setups from today, and you guys are going to be breaking down everything you need to know Swing Trader over the last month for our monthly Swing Trader scorecard, which is happening almost right after this.
Yep, exactly.
At
So
yeah,
uh,
1:30 Pacific, and you're a big part of that.
yeah, and one more point on the different chart timeframes. One thing to
Mhm.
keep in mind is, especially when you get these high price stocks like Amazon, you just have to know that, sometimes those point moves look really big, but you got to put it in
Yep.
perspective, right? I mean, a couple point move in Amazon is nothing. So, definitely keep that
Mhm.
in mind. But yeah, we'll be talking about a
That's a
lot
good
of
one.
that stuff today and what we're doing on Swing Trader. That's available for subscribers in about 20
Yes.
minutes.
Yes. All right. So head over to swingtrader.investors.com for that. The link to join is at that top banner. So, Justin, we'll see you then, and we'll see you right back here for another Stock Market Today episode tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everyone.